not mean to harm his son, and he was disciplining him the same way he was when he was growing up.
News 4 investigates your food. Tonight, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. It's an agency whose mission includes protecting all of us from bad food.
But does the FDA suffer from a lack of transparency? Our investigative reporter Luke Moretti tells us the agency said no to an interview and would only respond to questions in writing.
Why would a U.S. government agency whose mission it is to keep the public safe refuse to answer questions?
It's just another way to say that the people are ignorant and don't want to have the information.
We're talking about the Food and Drug Administration. It's an agency with a $4.5 billion budget that you and other taxpayers help fund. An agency whose job it is to protect public health on many different fronts, not the least of which involves the food you eat.
Bureaucrats are very defensive. Bureaucrats are afraid of their shadow.
Since September, we have been trying to get an FDA official to answer questions about food safety on camera or by telephone. They have declined our request to provide someone. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't.
Carl Nielsen is a former director of import operations for the FDA. He retired in 2005 after nearly 30 years with the agency.
There are attempts, have been attempts by the agency to improve the communication, including with industry, the regulated industry, but it's extremely difficult.
After repeated requests to talk to an FDA expert, the agency sent us this email. We respectfully decline the request for an interview. You think it's a mistake that the agency is not more transparent?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They shouldn't be afraid of transparency.
This comes at a time when the FDA could see a $358 million increase in its operating budget. Most of the money would go to help the agency improve oversight of food safety.
To me, typically that's when you know there's a problem, when they refuse to answer your questions. Because it's like, what's the big mystery all about?
The public can have some real assumptions of what the agency should do and some assumptions of what they may have done as far as making certain the product on that grocery shelf is okay.
You would think that they would want to come out and say, this is what we do and how we do it and why we do it.
Well, and I think also that would put the public at ease. They shouldn't be afraid to talk about what they're doing.
Now, chickens from China and its safety system are among the questions we would have asked an FDA official had the agency agreed to do an interview. Tomorrow at 6, you'll hear from one expert who says China is like the U.S. was in the late 1800s. And mark your calendar for this Thursday at noon. Carl Nielsen, a former FDA Director of Import Operations, will be available to answer your questions during a live web chat on WIVB.com. From food imports to border inspections to food safety, it's all on the table. That's this Thursday beginning at noon on WIVB.com. Luke Moretti, News 4.